Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Are you good?
You're great here.
Thank you.
It wouldn't be the same without you.
So how did you get started with music? Let's start there.
My mom used to play violin in an orchestra, in like a semi-professional orchestra. She also has a really funny ability to fall asleep at any time, and so I have these images of being like a little kid and watching her falling asleep as she's trying to practice parts whilst playing violin, standing up and having to kind of like throw something at her to remind her to practice more. So I play drums a lot, as just kind of like, as anybody does, whatever their parents do, you do the loudest or most obnoxious alternative to that. So mom played violin, so I played drums. And so, yeah, I used to play in a bunch of metal bands and hardcore bands and stuff like that. And then this was just easier to travel with. So kind of, when I landed in Vancouver, I was coming off a tour with a guy in South by Southwest and left all of my drums there, and they all went back to Australia. And I kind of thought, like, I don't want to go home yet. And he went to the UK, and I was just stuck. And it was really cheap for me to fly. For whatever reason, it was cheaper for me to fly. I was in Chicago for a hot second. Cheaper for me to fly to Portland and then catch a train from Portland to Vancouver than it was to fly straight to Montreal. And I'd never been to Canada, so those are the only two places I imagined wanting to go. Yeah. And it's perfect because I don't speak a lick of French. So if I landed in Montreal like 8 years ago, I would have thought that Canada was crazy and I would have just gotten out of there. But luckily I landed in Vancouver instead, and you guys speak English pretty good.
Yeah. So what made you decide to stay?
Well, I kind of moved in to a little crawl space in East Vancouver, just near China Creek, near the skate park, and I lived there for about 6 months, and then I moved into the basement of the same house, and this guy that I met while I was busking, and then again at Café du Soleil on Commercial. He was hanging out and he started playing music, and I wanted to kind of write music, and we got really competitive, and then we started a band, and then we started putting on house shows to pay rent in the basement, and it was too much fun, and I just stayed. And then there was a girl as well. There's always a girl. There's always a love interest in there as well. But yeah, those were the two main things.
So that band was Coldwater Road, or
The River and the Road.
The River.
Actually, Coldwater Road. That's interesting.
I keep getting the confused.
Yeah, no, because Pat was just here. Yeah. Another road, various other roads.
Road and water.
Yeah, exactly.
So you had the chance to tour Canada and Australia with them.
Yep.
How would you compare touring in two different areas like that?
Oh, man, they're both really similar because there's so much space. So, you play a show in, you play a show in Banff, and then you've got to get to Calgary, and then you've got to get to Saskatoon, and then you've got to get to Winnipeg. And you do all of that in 3 days, and there's like 9-hour drives in between, or like 6-hour drives for some of them. And then Australia is the same. You play Brisbane, then you drive 11 hours, then you play Sydney, you drive 11 hours. You play Adelaide, you drive 11 hours. Play Perth, you drive a week. It's like, so I think Canada's more condensed, which I had never thought I would say about Canada, because it's really big. Like driving from like Ucluelet to Charlottetown and back a couple of times. You guys have a lot of space. A lot of beautiful space, but a lot of space. A lot of like contemplation, a lot of time for thought. Like just like Northern Ontario in its entirety, like driving through the Shield is just like head against the window while someone plays Vanessa Carlton. Like that kind of like, especially like the third or fourth time, like it's beautiful, but it's really long. And then you're just in Thunder Bay after like a day. You're not even in Toronto. Like you're not there yet. You've got to keep going another day. And then you're only in Sault Ste. Marie. And then you get, so not, if anyone from Sault Ste. Marie or Thunder Bay. Yeah. Are you actually from one of those? Really? Nice. We played the Foundry last time we were there, and Crocs. Played Crocs. Oh, really? Oh, well. It's a beautiful place. I love what you did with the place. Actually, we played a house show there where we had to cut the balcony off the back of the veranda, or like the deck, and build our own mic stands in Thunder Bay. Very accommodating community. Kudos to you.
So you just finished up work on a new album.
Yeah.
A little while ago.
Yes.
Excited about that?
Very, very, very excited. Yeah, it's been in the works for like, God, a really long time. Like
Yeah.
a really long time. It's just one of those things that you kind of do little bits of and then go and take a break and then come back and listen to something and go, it's rubbish, and you crumple up the paper and throw it against the wall and start again, and it's done. It's like it's tools down, hands off, done. Like I just got the masters sent to me in order yesterday. So like very fresh. Like I'm still walking around with it on my iPhone, like getting a sense of the track order and stuff. But yeah, it's hopefully I'm gonna try and get it out by early next year is the realistic one. Late this year is like to tell people so that they still pay attention to stuff. But realistically, early next year.
All right, well, I'm really excited for that, and I'm excited to hear some more music, so
Sure.
let's get to it.
Yeah, all right. Let's, Oh, I think you were winding up my guitar when you were winding up a microphone for a second there. You can wind this down a little bit. Even down a bit more. Yeah. Sweet, okay. Okay, actually, yeah, I'm gonna do this one.